Welcome to Maximal Being,
a podcast devoted to ditching fad diets and using real science to get you healthy and feeling great.
I'm Doc Mock, a GI and functional medicine doctor who harnesses the power of gut health to get you achieving your goals.
And I'm Jacky P, a well-informed layman who challenges the experts and asks the questions that you want.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button or leave a comment.
And now, on to the show. Josh, also one thing I want to talk to, because I think, especially, in 2020, right, with everything that happened with COVID and everyone experienced the blossoming of the virtual world, right? Yep. Before that, telehealth wasn't really anything. It was kind of like, hell yeah, we kind of have telehealth, but, no one uses it, right? And it seems like, your company, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that's one of your major pillars, right, of your institution. So can you speak to just like how that model helps, your business and your reach and your scale?
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. COVID expedited telehealth in a major way. I mean, now video calls Zoom, right? You don't even say anything else, and I think that is a very good thing. I think the accessibility to medicine is so much easier in so many different categories. Don't get me wrong, you're still going to need hospitals. You're going to still need urgent care. You're still going to need a hands-on approach, especially when it comes to surgery. But for minimally invasive stuff like this, or stuff that you can do at home, that you can do through a video call and get injection training, I mean, this is all day, every day, and twice on Sunday type business. In terms of us, we're growing at as fast of a scale as we can. We're going to be inking a deal here pretty soon with another group that's going to give us access to 50 states. So we can do all this as long as we can get labs. We incorporate a ton of labs in the treatment process. As long as we can do that, and we can take blood pressure readings, we can manage this care pretty effectively. So I think it's a great thing. I think you're going to see this industry just continuously grow. It's a little frustrating because some states have not really adapted to this yet. And, for those who don't understand healthcare, every state has a different role. There's the DEA, there's the FDA that rule on a very large federal guideline basis, but each state has its own pharmacy board, and each state has its own rules and regulations. So it's a little cumbersome and it's hard to navigate, but if you get a good attorney group, you can do that really well. And just from an overall accessibility, I think telehealth's really going to up the game for healthcare.
New York's the hardest, isn't it? It's so hard to get testing in New York.
Everything New York, everything California is just a challenge. Yeah. Florida can sometimes be a challenge. Texas can sometimes be a challenge. Illinois, basically your most populated states or more regulated states. That said, you can navigate it. Labs are, something that we utilize a lot, but New York, you're right, man. There's a lot of weird rules when it comes to labs.
Yeah, especially in my world, gut stuff. I mean, they do not like poop being shipped to and from New York. They don't like it. I don't know. Maybe it's the USPS workers struck or something like that.
There's definitely a trend, because with what I do, those are the states, California, New York, and Florida, are nightmares. They might as well be their own country. It's like, listen. Yeah. So
totally. And then from a business standpoint, you can't avoid them, right? You have to learn to navigate those states. I mean, if you looked at our business right now, which 80% of it's coming from, the same states over and over. And it's interesting. You look at California, New York, Texas, Florida, maybe Arizona, Illinois, you got these big metros that are really, really well educated when it comes to this type of therapies. You get in smaller, mid-sized markets, there's a lot of educating on the patient side. So it's a little bit harder to really grow that side of the business. So that's where we tend to focus there as well. But there's also a huge opportunity.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm a big fan of telehealth myself. As a frequent flyer in the hospital system, I'd rather knock out that 30-minute video call than going to the doctor and waiting for 30-45 minutes in the office and then seeing them, so telehealth is the future, and I'm glad you're leading that charge.
Yeah. And before we go to a commercial break, being at a quaternary cancer care center, I mean, it makes life so much easier for our patients who are super sick and don't want to come in if they want to meet you. And I mean, we have seen a little bit of a backslide in terms of reimbursement on the payer side. I would imagine you're more of a, out of pocket sort of.
Yep.
No, yeah, okay.
No, we're 100% cash pay.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
I mean, we've seen a little bit of a backslide in the reimbursements. So if anybody out there works for Big Gov and is listening, like, you need to fight for telehealth for our patients. We need to support our rural Americans for sure.
That's unfortunate because I don't think you lose quality of care there. And, from your perspective, I mean, God, you're dealing with, I don't even want to know how many different payers that have different rules, and different reimbursement, and this that's tough, but I hope they can get their act together because it's an important factor.
Yeah. And I will say it's like specialty specific. My wife, who's a urogynecologist, it is worthless for her to have a virtual visit, right? Because she has to do an exam on every patient that she sees, and she's not going to be able to do that on Zoom. So we're going to go to a brief commercial break for all you maximal beings out there. And we're coming back with Josh Whalen and Jacky P.
What's going on, Maximal Beings? It's Doc Mock here. Many of you are returning to the gym now, but some are not going back. Regardless of what you plan, Rogue has got the right gear to fit your needs. I personally own a barbell set and love it. The Black Ops shorts are sweat resistant and flexible for getting deep in your squats. Head on over to maximalbeing.com/rogue for our referral link. Order 3 items and they ship for free. And as usual, it's Doc Mock, and I'm here to maximize your pathway to wellness. If you're stuck at home and cannot make it to the grocery store, delivery may be the best way to stay clean and healthy. Instacart is the national leader in the direct-to-home delivery service. With numerous major chains and food from smaller stores, you can get those local veggies sent directly to your doorstep. Head on over to maximalbeing.com/Instacart and maximize your nutrition today.
Welcome back, my fellow Maximal Beings. Just been here chatting it up, chopping it up with Josh Whalen, and of course, the co-hostess with Moses, Doc Mock. We're in the part 2 of our conversation where Jacky P throws questions at Josh, and some he may know about, some he may not. We don't know. We'll see where it goes, because honestly, I don't even know where it's going to go. All right, so hit you with the low-hanging fruit, Josh.
Sure.
What is your favorite health book and why? Or nutrition book?
Guys, you're gonna hate me for this, but I don't read a ton of nutrition books. I'm a nonfiction guy. I love economic books, entrepreneurial books. I'm a big Malcolm Gladwell guy. Most of my life has been in sports. For 20 years of my life, I've been, hammered with nutrition and sports and fitness. I did everything from wrestling to rugby. So a lot of my life, I feel like I have a pretty good foundation when it comes to that.
All right. Well, I mean, now you're gonna have to answer. What did you say? You said economics books, you said nonfiction, and Gladwell. So I need one of each. Just fire them off, hit fire.
Or maybe Gladwell fills all the boxes.
Yeah,
Gladwell certainly can. I mean, if you haven't read Tipping Point, which was his first big one, that's the one you have to start with. And then I'm a huge fan of all the Freakonomics guys, the guys out of University of Chicago. I'm big on how something works over here and then it works over there. And then, the human body's like that too, right? But I'm definitely not that smart to make any assumptions there. But those are kind of my jam.
Nice. I like it. Okay, cool. Well, Mr. Rugby, wrestling, and all around, I mean, you look pretty athletic. You look like you just came back from doing like squats or something. I can feel it. Like that looks like a moisture wicking shirt.
Yeah,
so,
it's like, a Lulu shirt. I just got done working out.
Exactly. Nice. Like you're ready, just in case you got to bust a sweat. What is your favorite exercise?
Ooh, that's a tough one. More recently, lunges, just straight up lunges. I feel so good after doing a nice set of lunges, and I love the core aspect that you get from that. Other than that, I'm big into kettlebell training. Standard stuff like bench press, squat. I mean, you can't replace good legs, right? And there's so much that goes into that with your core. But as I get older, I'm really more focused on body movement, less heavyweight. I mean, I used to be a gym rat, bench, 400 pounds, squat, over 500 pounds. And it was all about power. Now it's more about feeling good, feeling loose and a little bit more nimble. So I got to tell you guys, I love Peloton. I love what they've put together. I love their mat workouts. You can go from a 5-minute workout to an hour workout on the floor, and then you can incorporate it on the treadmill and the bike. So I've been really into that stuff lately.
If you go back to episode 1, we cite some literature that basically randomized people to low weight versus high weight and doing the same amount of power output. So you just do more reps. People had equal outcomes in terms of hypertrophy, strength, and longevity of the gain. So you hit the nail on the head for us.
That's awesome.
For us 40-year-old folks. So
yeah. You guys get it.
Yep. Absolutely.
I do. I mean, everyone knows about my journey. By the way, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm old. I'm still young and hip and with it, if it's not obvious. So I just turned 35, and all my exercises are with a 25-pound kettlebell or less. So I have no need for heavy weights in my house anymore. So yeah. I'm on the same track with you. I've got another thing to add on, because you said you cannot beat good legs, and I can't leave that as an opportunity not to mention Doc Mock's calf muscles, because I have to bring it up every episode. It's a thing, and I can't let it down.
Our big calves correlated with
high
testosterone. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You got to send some blood work.
That's funny. I could use a little bit more juice in my calves. I have good quads, good hammies, strong area there, but my calves are a little dainty.
It's all dad. It's all my dad. Yep. Thanks, Dad.
That's genetics, right?
It's all totally.
And what is your favorite? Oh, no, I'm sorry. We already went there. What is the craziest diet you've heard of or been on?
Well, guys, I was a wrestler, so I cut weight. I had a very, very strenuous high school career cutting weight, and that was probably my craziest times of diets, right? Like I did whatever I could. I mean, this isn't necessarily a diet, but I would do anything from X-Lax to water pills to just eating nothing to just drinking water. But that was the craziest period of my life when it came to just sheer dieting. Nowadays, I'm fortunate. I have a wife that's very active in our household. We just eat whole foods, like legitimate whole foods. And, we eat meat, we eat veggies, we eat fruit, good proteins all the time, good fats. We tried the keto stuff, had a harder time with that. It was hard to maintain. It was hard to prep. So now we're just on a really, really good whole food diet. We have nothing processed in our house, period.
That's awesome.
Church. Yes. I'm snapping.
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes off. Yeah. That's fantastic. You're preaching to the choir. I mean, I'm be honest with you. I do not have 100% whole foods in this house. My wife does love her baked goods, and I do too, to be honest. But no, glad to hear that. And, it's great to hear people who practice what they preach, right? You're talking about health, and nutrition is like, the foundation, right? Like it's the most important.
Totally.
I like it.
Paleo, keto, vegan, and carnivore. Maybe you've tried them all, but did you have success? Are you still doing that diet? Turns out there's not just one diet right for one particular person. By understanding how your body works and the relationship behind your body's workings and these diets, you can then approach the perfect plan for you. In the Perfect Human Diet course, we talk to you about your body's inner workings and the pros and cons of each plan. We discuss how our ancestors ate and have eaten, and lay a framework to tailoring a plan that is perfect for you. To learn more about the Perfect Human Diet course, head to maximalbeing.com/courses to find out more. And as always, I'm Doc Mock, and I'm here to maximize your health. You cannot supplement your way to health, but there are things that we need to add to our lives that can maximize our pathway to wellness. The American diet is virtually devoid of omega-3 fatty acids, which play a major role in cardiovascular disease, gut permeability, and mental health. Personally, I take omega-3s every night, and iHerb is the best place for clean, natural sources of supplements. I love the ZenWise omega-3 fatty acid supplement, which is free of fish burps and good for the environment. Head on over to maximalbeing.com/iHerb, that's IHERB, and enter the code B as in boy, D as in dog, B as in boy, 5528, and receive 10% off your orders for all supplements. Maximize your supplements with iHerb.
I was just thinking, Jacky P, like, of all the guests that we've had on, I feel like everybody that's been on this show that is an expert like yourself, Josh, has like said that same thing. Like, I've tried this, I've tried that, none of it worked, and I just eat real food, and that's the best, most sustainable solution. Like, you heard it here again. Like, it is the way to go for sure.
Totally. It's, I mean, and it's easy to maintain, right? I mean, and you don't, listen, you can spend as much money as you want. I mean, we go to Whole Foods and I don't even want to tell you about the dent that puts in our pocketbook, but you know, that's where my wife wants to shop. But you can do the same thing at just like a Safeway or Kroger or just, you know, any normal chain. You don't have to go down the aisle where everything's processed, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, from an environmental standpoint, like if you compost all that food, like you are generating zero trash. You know,
Totally.
I was thinking about that last night when I was taking out the compost. I'm just like, I haven't taken out the trash in weeks, you know?
Yeah. My wife and I used to have bags and bags and bags of trash. And then now, like, we also compost, and also we've moved towards the real food. And it's like, oh, like, it's trash day and our bag is like 3/4 full. So do we take it out? I don't know, because we're not, you know. That's right. Josh, I have another question for you. This one just came to me, and I guess this is a little bit more about Blokes. One, by the way, I also love the name Blokes. So
me too.
This is an interruptive question from my next question. Where did you come up with the name? How did that come about?
So it's a good question. One, you know, as a business, you got to look out what's out there, right? And, you know, I'm not throwing shade at some of my competitors, but I'm just kind of over this macho approach to TRT. I think this is just a way of life. And I think for men to really start talking about it, we have to start bringing it to, you know, maybe a funny or cheeky level, right? And, you know, playing rugby for so many years, Blokes was thrown around on the pitch all the time. And it just kind of fit, you know, but I think our mission is to be scientific while also making this be more fun, right? I think guys need to start talking about their morning erections and their belly fat and, you know, their sex life and all that stuff, because this is just a part of life. And the more we talk about it, the more we can raise the bar and the more men we're going to get, you know, invited into this world.
I couldn't agree more, right? What they say, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? It's sometimes, you know, we love to talk about a lot of things. We talk about the news and sports and all this stuff, but it's like, if we were talking about something, right, the three of us, and I say, you know what, man, I've been having this issue, and you're like, holy shit, I've been having that too, right? And then we realize, oh, maybe this isn't natural, and then there's a solution, and we think like, okay, we're not alone, right? And then now it's more of a community issue. And I agree, we should talk about everything more often.
Definitely.
I call it so it's funny. I have these conversations a lot, you know, with friends. I call it like the 3 beer strategy. You got to get to the 1 beer, right? Because by the 3rd beer, they're all willing to talk about this after I've talked about it. But we got to, as men, we got to get to the 1st beer, right? Women have been doing this for, you know, their lifetime, right? I mean, women go to a wine party or cocktail party, and you know everything about their sex life, you know everything about their goals and their needs, and I'm not saying men are ever going to be there, but we got to at least get to a point where we can talk about it, where it's not so deep and penetrating. You don't have to have 3 or 5 beers to do it.
I mean, listen, women talk about it. I mean, I've seen my wife like divulge like just personal information like on someone passing by because she happened to hear her say something about something, like, oh yeah, listen, I've got this going on. You just see this, like, Yeah, like Blokes, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna start using Blokes now. We got to talk more, communicate.
That's
Let's
right.
be
Community.
transparent, take care of each other.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. Well, listen, I am out of questions, unfortunately, and fortunately, because sometimes the questions can run long, Josh. But you know, Doc Mock, if you have anything else to add, you know, I'd love for you just to, you know, take us out in that wonderful way that you do.
Sure. I mean, firstly, Josh, can you tell people where to find you if they have questions,
Sure.
if they want to reach out to you?
Yep. Blokes.co. It's that simple. BLOKES.co. It's as easy as clicking one of our schedule now buttons. We ask for just a few, you know, small demographic information. Have you sign a informed consent, health history form, and then we start you off your patient journey. And most guys, if they're ambitious, they can get seen the same day, get labs within 24 hours. We get those back in, you know, 2 or 3 days, and then have another provider follow-up, and medications can sometimes be there within 7 to 10 days.
Love it.
Yep.
And then, so it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank
Me
you
too.
for being so upfront and personal, and enjoy the sunshine, you know, there in Colorado. And Jacky P, I miss you, buddy. It's been too long since I've talked to you.
It's you too.
Welcome to the Maximal Being family. For all of you out there, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment. It does help us to get the word out. If you have not done so already, head on over to maximalbeing.com. We're offering the free Perfect Human Diet course if you want to know more about personalized nutrition, like what we talked about here today. And if you have any questions, if you want to email any of our experts, please don't hesitate to reach out at team@maximalbeing.com. And as always, I'm Doc Mock here with Josh Whalen and Jacky P, and we are here to maximize your health.
What's going on, Maximal Beings? Doc Mock here. If you haven't done so already, leave us a comment and hit the subscribe button. Let your friends and family know. That way we can get the word out and continue to bash the bro science.